What the problem at the moment's happened is the barrier's been damaged. Morgan had a big one, so therefore it's going to be about an hour delay. The problem is where the weather is so intermittent. If it's wet, it's easy, you put a wet setup. If it's dry, it's a balance between do you stay on your dry setup in case it dries. It's a guess all the way along the line. Just at the moment, we just got to sit and wait. There's no point panicking because nobody knows what the weather conditions are going to be.
Yeah, the actual track's quite fast. It's got a really high average speed. Tight hairpin onto the start-finish line. It's probably the slowest corner anywhere in England. The rest of it's all quite fast and flowing. I've got to say it's probably my least favourite. I've never really gelled with the place, never really feel comfortable. No reason, just I've not been here much, I guess. It's probably the circuit I've done the least amount of driving around.
It's a day with changeable conditions. It's going to change every 5 minutes. It might be dry, it might be wet, it might be damp. So you have to look at what the circuit is going to be. The engineers, myself, a couple of others, we look at what we think is going to be in 10 minutes time when we go to the grid. The actual driver at the end of the day does have the first call. He's driving it, he knows, he's got the information. I got a pretty good handle on it because of the rallycross, which was, you weren't just changing them, you were cutting tread, you were doing everything. So for an old wrinkly, I've got an inbred knowledge. You might say to yourself, right, we're more than happy to scrap a set of wets because we want two laps in a very drying condition, and if you don't get it right on that, even if it dries, the track quite often goes greasier, so sometimes it's faster while it's a little bit wetter. When you then switch to the slick tyres, again because of no preheating, usually you're looking 1 lap or 2 lap or 3 laps depending on the length of the track to be up to temperature to get a flyer. That has a length of time, and the length of time, if you can fit it in the 45-minute session. Whoever does the best job of that today is probably going to be up the front of the grid.
First practice, interesting trying to learn the circuit again, where to go, what to do.
Next Abbott is 5 seconds away, 5 seconds off the road. So Harrison Scott will start the next race from the front of the grid.
Frustrating one, I think. It's something we've got to go looking for with the car. We've got a bad handling characteristics come in, and it just feels like there's no basic weight on the front end of the car. And whatever I try and do, it's got a lot of understeer with the front washing away. We did our first tyre run, which didn't feel too bad until they told me I was 2.5 seconds off what they're doing at the front. We changed the tyre pressure in the front of the car, so we try a bit higher. We also took some front camber away to try and get a larger contact surface on the ground. But both changes didn't make any difference to the problems I had in the car, and they just seemed to progressively get worse as the session went on. So we were wondering whether we've got a broken roll bar or a front damper that's lost its pressure. So the lads are now busy away trying to sort that, see what's wrong. I think that's the worst qualifying session I've ever had. I've never qualified so badly, and been trying. If you've got a big fundamental problem, it's easy, but when you're looking for something and you don't even know where to look at the minute, it's frustrating.
Right, I'm Mike Butler, the coordinator of the Dunlop BTCC Touring Car Championship. Here I coordinate all this, one thing, I look after the service, organise the event. But when I'm here, the race is on, I engineer NG, look after do the tyre engineering for them. This week we're a bit short on people because it's Le Mans week. So I'm doing MG and Honda, which is, as you can imagine, fraught at the best of times. Race day's a bit more relaxed. Once you get race one out the way, you can evaluate, you can look at the tyres, see the performance, because nobody's done any distance work because the conditions yesterday was hit and miss. So race one is always a bit of see where we are, and then we'll get better performance race 2 and 3. But as you can see with the weather, changeable weather at the moment, we're doing a bit from slicks to wet. Teams not sure which direction to go. The soft tyres brought a bit different element to the racing. The decision to use soft tyre for this season was given us very late, November last year. I think it's still early days. I think you'll see more better strategies the latter part of the season and into next year. Teams haven't got the head round it. We're going from here to a do-day test in Snetterton in July. So I think a lot of teams are going to work on soft tyre performance, how to get the best out of them, how to get longevity out of them, and then we'll see the latter half of the season a bit of improvement. The guys at the far end, they'll take the air out, take the weights off the wheels. It goes onto a lift, it takes the breaker, which pops the feeds off the rims on both sides. It's then down a conveyor belt to the fitting machines where they remove the old tyre, fit a new one. Then it goes onto another conveyor belt to inflation cages with the tyres popped on. And the inflation cage is just for safety. These tyres popped on at quite high pressures, and if there's any faults in the rim, any cracks, it starts a rim exploding. It's there for safety, so the guys are all protected. And then it goes on to the last bit of equipment, the balancers and balance, and off they go onto the teams.
Right, okay mate, happy days. Cheers. Oh, back to the den, chaps.
Do that, then get up into like qualifying.
It's Sunday morning, race day starts here. Preparing to get all the tickets ready for the guests to get in. The lads have been working very hard so far. Up and onwards, let's see what today brings. So what the concept is, what they've now allowed... Just had a chat about the different pit stop procedure which we're allowed to do at this meeting. Where we are on the pit lane is slightly awkward, it's slightly dangerous, it's on the exit. We're just going to pull in, run parallel, but the major change is instead of 2 people on the car changing wheels, we're allowed to have 4 with 1 safety person. Just pretty much common sense for where we are on the pit lane.
It's actually looking alright at the moment. It's still sunny, blue skies above us, amazingly. But yeah, it's alright. Not too bad. I'm not worried about doing a wet tyre change.
Pit lane opens in 5-6 minutes.
Yeah,
10-2 it opens.
Yeah, race one we're on the soft tyre, we're at the back. If the setups that we've done, the changes are right, then the soft tyre will help us. We've got to just generally progress, get as far as we can up the grid.
Started the race on slicks and it's not looking too good. It's just started spitting at the moment. Hopefully we won't have to put the wets on. Just keep an eye on it, hopefully it don't get worse.
Luckily the rain held off, so we've not had to mess about with tyres and stuff. I hate it when the conditions are like this. I'd rather it be wet or dry.
Made a bit of a Billy mistake.
I think braking earlier would be better.
Yeah, you would, wouldn't it?
Why don't you sit a bump?
The bump there, and I thought I won't brake down, I'll brake early, and went over the bump, it locked.
Wasted opportunity last one. There we go. So we have to just try that a little bit harder. It'll come my way eventually.
If you want,
absolutely on cue. It just started to rain. We changed tyres in the pit lane.
Mate, it's horrific. It's not raining.
We can't let Essex go. He's got wet.
Yeah, tell him to stay there. So yeah, sorry, there's loads of stuff going on in here. It's...
Okay, we need the slicks. On the way with tyres.
Getting ready for what is going to be a very different sort of race. Now this rain may get worse, it may get better, who knows what we have in store.
First couple of laps is going to settle out. We've got sunny clouds outside, we've got rainy clouds outside, and we've got sunny, rainy clouds over the top of us, so it's like, it doesn't matter what you do. Jack Goff turned him round again, so we've lost straight line speed and stuff, but it doesn't look like there's anything hanging off the front. Got to make the places back now.
David Nye going through, heading Jack Sears Trophy.
Yeah, look at that, it's a great battle.
In the Jack Sears Trophy, David Nye, who's not had a class win yet, is beating defending from Jake Hill. How about this, nose to tail?
Match them 3 cars on. They're exactly the same.
David Nye is staying on the over here. With an advantage, but he goes off, he goes through the gravel, kicks all the dust into the face of Jake Hill.
2 laps to go.
Here they are, Nye is still leading from Jake Hill and Lee Wood. One more corner to go, and therefore the end is Nye. So David Nye it is up front, got Jake Hill behind him, and he's busy defending from Lee Wood, who tries the outside line. And the Welch Motorsport round 4 Focus. He's going to take a first Jack Sears Trophy win.
Side by side, it's going to be left side.
Brilliant result for David Nye. He's got 7 inches lead.
We won, Chet, we won. That was the first.
David Nye, round 14, and he's enjoying every minute of this. Stands atop the top step of the podium, and David, that's it. We need to go down. There we go, and down one more, and down one more. There we go.
Come here, you.
That was awesome. A good bunch, wasn't it, eh? That's what it's all about. Collect a few of them. That's a long time coming. As we said before, it's a little bit here, a little bit there, and we just getting better and better slowly. Want to be a bit faster, but it's nice to win one and see what we can do from here.
David drove well. The main thing is we won. We got absolutely perfect tyre pressures. You slowly build to it. Tyres hung on as long as possible. We've done a couple of other slight adjustments. Bang, there's the difference. The drugs work well.
I thought it was the driver myself, but
we had the success. Now we've got to forget about it and get on with the next race. Motorsport for you.
We're going to need headlights on at this rate.
All that rain we're meant to have today is going to cover it.
1 minute, 1 minute.
We went out on brand new wets for the last race. Actually put quite a good wet setup on for what I thought. So, you know, long race, got 15 laps to actually get the end. So I wasn't going to rush or panic or anything. Let the car come to us. We went out on new wets, which actually take a little bit of time to bed in and start to work. And a lot of other people had kind of pre-bedded them, and it was just starting to kind of come to me. We're into the third lap, going into the hairpin, kind of defending, going around the inside, making sure no one can get through. Just got an almighty whack from behind, which turned me round. And while I was sort of stranded in the middle of the track, I got hit by one of the MGs, which just crumpled all the front end of the car. And away with rear suspension damage and a crumpled front end. totally not my fault.
We're out.
Drive shaft broke coming out of the head. You can't win them all, you can try, but if that's what gives you and the drive shaft goes, there's not much you can do about it.
But in the break now, we're actually going to do a couple of test days, which is unheard of. And yeah, we're going to try a lot of stuff on a race weekend. You've got to be quite safe with what you're doing. We're going to go crazy and try lots of weird stuff and just see what works and what doesn't.